Da 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 da. Ah, God. Recently released movies. Ridiculously hot foods. Blazzin Buttholes. Next morning.
Hey guys, welcome back to Blazzin Buttholes. We are doing a review on
Annihilation.
We are eating spicy Indian food?
Thai food.
Thai food.
Thanks to Buddha Thai Bistro. We're a stubborn bunch, and we're not going to let Blazzin Butts die. We're going to keep doing it.
And maybe next time we'll do the
fun.
chips.
Maybe. We're going to work our way up to the chips. Those are pretty brutal.
Sarah said she's down for the chips.
I'll do the chips. It's one chip. This is a whole plate.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We just got back from the movie theater 15-20 minutes ago. Just watched Annihilation. So this is our first thoughts of what the movie was about. And just for everybody that's watching, this is a spoiler-free.
First half we'll do non-spoilers, and then we'll go into the hard discussion when we feel that we've met that point.
Okay, so these movies that are coming up look like dog shit. So maybe we can make some more reviews on those ones. So the movie starts out, and something crashes into Earth and is wreaking havoc on Earth, and they're not really sure what it is. And so the plot of the movie is basically that they want to figure out what's going on. The main character in the movie is...
Padme?
Come on. What's her real name?
Skinny girl.
Oh, what's her name?
Natalie Portman.
There you go.
Yeah,
The main character in the movie is Natalie Portman. She is a goddess at all points of her life, so shout out to her.
I would say the movie surprised me. I enjoyed Natalie Portman's acting. I like her. I would les out with her.
Yeah, she's always very good. Every movie I see her in, she's fantastic. Even in Your Highness. She was good in Your Highness, which is a very, very low-rated movie.
Yep.
But it was pretty fun. I would say the noodles are getting it. I would say, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed this movie a lot. This movie is one of the movies that I love going and seeing, and I'm going to definitely end up purchasing it when it comes out so I can watch it a few more times. It's a thriller, and every single way that a thriller can be a thriller, they're giving you little tidbits of information all the way up to about 45 minutes into the movie, and then it really starts going off, and it maintains a very good atmosphere of suspense. The score in the movie is very good. There's no music throughout the whole movie. It's just a score of instruments and audio noises, and it did very, very good with creating tension when it wanted to, and creating kind of like a sense of awe when it wanted to. I enjoyed the visuals of this movie a lot. Everything was very beautiful when they wanted it to be beautiful and vivid. The colors of all the different types of things that are in the movie were really, really cool. And so
I think they definitely showed a good contrast on when they start explaining stuff in the movie of those questions as you're watching the movie. They start explaining it with visuals of how things look and how things are progressing the closer they get in the plot line, and the good and evil inside of the place that they were at. One part of the movie, there was a deer, blossoming, flowery deer that there was definitely, you could tell that this was the breach in what they were trying to figure out.
And they did a real good job in communicating message that within this movie was contrast between not necessarily good and bad, but just contrast in general between two different things. And how to communicate that visually is normally dark and light.
Or pretty and
ugly. Yeah, exactly.
And beautiful.
Yes, and so they did a great job in here visually showing you contrasts of different things, and I loved it. There were so many things in there that I loved on how you can communicate things visually without even having to say them. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't feel like there was, a lot of dialogue. There was definitely a dialogue and communication between the cast members.
The amount of dialogue was
But
it was normal.
It wasn't
good.
over-
yeah, but it's
Overkill.
like they didn't waste dialogue trying to explain things to you. They let you understand it yourself. And I always love when the movie does that. I hate when they get into dialogue and they're like, "Oh, remember that scene 10 minutes ago?"
So when I was watching this movie, I was like, oh, this is a weird tale where they're gonna kind of let the audience viewer determine, what's going on. They're not telling you, so you get to think of what's going on. Kind of like how Jaws is scary under the water, and once you see him, it's like not quite as scary.
Yeah.
I was almost there, and I was like, a couple times we're like, oh, maybe it's that, and then one of the cast members gives some exposition and says, oh, this is what happened. I go, oh, well, that was one of my theories, but, they kind of took that away from me.
Mm-hmm.
So they do touch a little bit on that. You trying to figure out what's going on for yourself, but they take away some moments, and I think that's because they want the movie to be easier to understand, which is, I'm hearing that they changed the ending of the movie, and I can kind of see some footprints of, well, hold on, let's have this character say what went on, so we don't lose some of the less theory-based audience members.
Yeah. And I liked that. When we get into the spoilers of it, we'll get into what she was explaining, what the Shimmer was doing. But the fact that she explained what the Shimmer was doing, I kind of enjoyed that, because that way it was like, okay, now we know, and it helped round the movie towards the end a lot clearer, knowing that.
That one was not a bad one.
Yeah, that one was a good one.
I gotta say though, there was a few times in the movie while I was watching. For example, there was one part in the movie where, as Josh was saying, there's a mysterious thing that they didn't know what it was, and a very big thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
And not 10 minutes, 15 minutes later, when they're playing it back, and it's this kind of a turn of the plot line where one of the characters is accusing all of the other characters of something. She explains what was seen, which wasn't seen 10 minutes prior.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
One of those characters was totally breaking the fourth wall, because they're all like, maybe, they're saying out loud what the audience members are thinking. Maybe it's just I think that I'm crazy,
Yeah,
Whereas,
I was like,
most
oh
places-
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like that was definitely part of like the dumbing down that we've heard that this movie did to
I
itself.
don't know that it was, though. I think it was just
different,
a
for
bad... I think that was the bad part of the movie for me.
See, it was cool, but it was weird because, there's a stereotype of movies where if someone's going crazy, they don't know it. It's not like, I'm crazy, I'm going to kill you. It's, I'm crazy, and I know I'm making a mistake, but I'm still doing it because...
That was one of the scenes I want to say one of the only scenes. I don't know if there was any other scenes where I was like, oh, okay, like, we don't need to baby me through this movie. Within the first 15 minutes of the movie, that this is going to be a movie that's going to want you to think about the movie. Mm. And so I was excited. I was like, oh, yes, like, yay, a movie that's going to make you want to talk about it and make you want to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think part of that was going into the movie. Corey told me they made this movie and they came out with an alternate ending that they said was too smart for the audience. How they were developing what the atmosphere actually did.
Maybe they changed the ending to lead into
Yeah.
the second one because it did that perfectly too. There has to be a second one.
No.
I'd be surprised. I don't think so. I think they're going to let this
They left
be
so
a
many
standalone
holes
movie.
in so many things though.
But that's part of it.
Well, that's
because
part of it. Yeah, I think so too.
that's what makes it good. Like, if it laid out every single thing for you, you'd be like, oh, okay, I'm done. And we wouldn't be talking about it for sure.
Yep,
We'd
exactly.
just be like, oh, okay.
I feel like there's going to be an Annihilation too. I'm putting money on it now.
Doing well enough.
Well, we saw the very first showing on a Saturday morning,
Yeah.
and the theater was full. Besides the very front,
Nobody sits there.
seats that make you want to have a seizure.
But our theater only has about 60 seats, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
We have a recliner theater.
Yeah,
so.
we have a fancy reclining
That was
chair
one of the
theater.
smaller theaters though too. That wasn't like the big one like where they show Star Wars
I don't
and
know.
everything.
I mean, we'll have to look to see how well this movie is doing. I mean, I will say that when the movie was over, the couple that was sitting next to us, the guy was like, "Well, I don't know what the hell just happened." So, and I could see that. Like, this is definitely not going to be a movie that everyone's going to be happy walking out of. Like, if you want to go see a Die Hard movie, this is not the movie for you. If you want to sit around and you just want to watch a movie and have things explained to you and have a lot of action and things like this isn't going to be a movie. This is a thriller, and this is a psychological thriller in all aspects of a good psychological thriller, which a lot of people don't like.
See, when I think thriller, I think of more things should have happened. I think this is it. Like, if you're categorizing,
In reality, 2 things happened in that movie.
yeah.
If we're gonna put it that way.
And well, when I was watching the movie, there's some trippiness with the time and how they perceive it. When I was watching, I felt like I was doing it myself. Because the movie was only an hour and 40 minutes, right?
I think so.
I felt like I was in there forever.
Did you?
And I'm not saying I didn't like the movie, but the pacing of it, time slowed down for me as well as the character.
Yeah, well, I agree. Yeah, no, this movie, it definitely felt longer than an hour and 40 minutes, but not in a bad way.
No. I understand why they didn't make it 2 hours, though.
Yes, if it would have lasted about 15 minutes longer, I would have been like, all right, let me get through the cast.
You still haven't done that?
And then can go into the spoiler section because I know we're going to like talking about this. So our main actor is Natalie Portman. She plays the lead role of a biologist. She did a very, very great job. Honestly, I enjoyed every character in this movie.
I enjoyed all but 2.
I was so about Oscar Isaac, who plays Natalie Portman's husband in the movie. I was so about his acting, but they were...
I don't think he was meant to be a...
hard.
It was to an effect.
It was hard because, they were trying to make him very... disrelated to everything that was happening, and
in the spoilers section, I think I might have a reason why.
Yes, exactly.
His acting was so bad.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. We'll get
was...
into that, and then we have some other people. Honestly, the only other person that is a noteworthy actor that you probably heard of is who we talked about already is Jennifer Jason
Lee.
Jennifer Jason Lee. Yes.
The stereotype typecast. Hispanic lady that's badass.
Yeah, I know. I was really surprised. Who's the girl from the Fast and the Furious movies?
I don't know.
Rodriguez?
She's one of the 3.
I was like, I'm surprised she's not in this movie.
Yeah, like there's the chick from Avatar that was badass and died.
Yep.
And then there's
that's
the
her.
Chick from
That's her. That's the girl from
and there's like 3 other versions of her, and one of them was in this movie.
Yes.
And by seeing her in the beginning, I already knew what her fate was. It's like seeing Sean Bean in a movie. You know what's going to happen.
That's very true. Yeah, when you see someone that looks like that, that's acting like that, you know exactly who that character is going to be. And she did play it. That wasn't a surprise at all with how that character's arc portrayed out.
Spoiler if it didn't end up that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are we even talking about right now?
And so
the Hispanic lady.
The Hispanic one, yeah.
Oh yeah, she was the other one I fucking hated. So.
And then we had Teresa Thompson. She was part of the squad that goes into the Shimmer, and she was the smart girl.
She was a brand new graduate from a doctorate program.
They had the
who looked like she was a brand new graduate from a doctorate program.
Yeah. And so they had her, and then they had a girl who I've never heard of her before.
Tova.
She looks very familiar.
Tova Navanti.
Yeah, Truva Navanti. And I liked her a lot.
What do you think about the all-women cast?
I enjoyed it. I liked the all-women cast. I did. And I liked how they explained away having an all-women team going into this.
See, I think
you know what? I didn't
explain
even...
it away. Because they're now, it's the beginning of the movie. They say, like, oh, we're all women. Because, like, again, the movie's breaking the fourth wall. They're saying what we're thinking. Oh, all women. And they didn't bring it up.
You know what's crazy though is I didn't notice that it was an all-woman cast besides the 2 men, pretty much.
But this is
Yeah, it was.
I had a little theory about it, and it was because
I didn't even notice it.
They were another experiment. What happens if we just send women?
Mm-hmm.
Because like the explanation they give is like we're all women. It's like no, they're all scientists. I'm like okay, that's great for the PR or whatever, but it could just be another phase of the experiment. And I was like, hey, We've tried sending men after men, and we think they might be killing each other. We don't know what's going on. Let's send up
some women in. And I liked it. All of them were pretty strong in most aspects of it.
Yeah.
There's a few characters I was like, all right, yeah, that's this character. But other than that, I thought it was super good. So Alex Garland He co-wrote and directed this movie, and I love when that happens. When people co-write or come together and write, and then one of them end up directing. That's I feel that's always when we get more of a pure form and don't get too much of the corporate change this, corporate change that, because they're not just buying a script off of somebody and say, let's make a movie out of this. At least the guy that wrote it has a little more, he has more emotion attached to it because it's really his piece of art. Him and the other person that wrote it.
Yeah, he's not looking at it. Well, we can't assume that, but there's a higher chance of him going at it at an artistic point instead of a commercial.
Exactly. Yes. And I always enjoy that.
Dum dum dum. Oh snap!
The movie breaks down like this. It's in 3 sections. The first section is the arrival, the first part of arrival, where something happens. Mm-hmm. They go visit the thing, and it's like, oh no, I want to be part of this. Pretty cool. That's okay. Second section is camping simulator, where they just walk around. They make camp, I think, 3 or 4 times. And they just keep getting, like, oh, something might happen. That's a neat plant. And then the third section is just like when you just dip your toe into 2001 Space Odyssey.
I can see that.
You're just like, hold on, DNA is melding and thoughts are different, and are you me and am I you, and it doesn't have wants, and it goes. And I like that. Yeah. But I wish it didn't end with things catching on fire for no reason.
But I would like to say that this is why we're going to have Josh be a special guest on this, because he's very critical of things. And I really enjoy that especially when we talk about movies, because you have a really good way of finding cracks in armor and making us defend it if we like it. So within the first act, we end up seeing that we have something come down to the earth, and it creates what they deem to be a shimmer, and it's constantly moving outwards. Yeah. And they don't ever explain the rate at which it's moving, but we're led to believe that this is probably going to end up enveloping the earth at some point. Yeah, cities and lakes, everything So this is a world-ending event, and so we get the main emotional pull from the main character going into this, because her husband came out, and he just, from all memory that he has, he just showed up at their home, and his organs are failing, he has mass internal bleeding, and that's going to be what drives her to go into this shimmer to try to help him to find a cure to whatever is ailing him. And immediately they have a complete loss of time. They go in, she has flashbacks, and then it goes back to them, and she's getting out of a tent, and it appears that they've been in there for 6 days, and they don't remember anything. Yeah. They don't remember setting up the tent, so we know from the very entry of the shimmer that we're going to have, us as viewers are going to have shenanigans about what time is like inside of this thing. Yeah. So which I never really mind, as long as they don't overdo it. And I don't felt that it was overdone. I felt that they did it just enough to leave you curious, but not enough to get annoyed.
Well, you know what the other thing was? So we're talking about the first part of the movie here. Whenever she finds out about her husband, he comes home, he starts coughing up blood, and so she's like, oh, crap, something's wrong with my husband. So he calls 911, and they get taken out of the ambulance by this organization that's
by the government.
By the government that's dealing with the shimmer. And immediately, whenever they start talking about, they start doing these kind of flash forward things where the ending actually is about this interview with Natalie Portman. Yeah. And originally, the guy who's interviewing her is like, how long do you think you've been in there? And she's like, I don't know, days, weeks? And I think the point of that was that she's been in there for...
She looked older.
A long time. Yeah, and I don't know that they ever gave a specific time.
She did look older.
I think they said a year.
I don't know. I don't remember if they did.
Yeah, no. I remember they said her husband was gone for a year.
Yeah, her husband was gone for a year. So I wonder if that's part of that too, is we're seeing this progression through the shimmer, and what they think to be maybe 6 days, they were in there for...
They could have been there for months. Yeah, we really don't know what time is like within the shimmer.
Or how they perceive it.
Or exactly, because their perceiving time is a lot shorter than what it is on the outside of it.
Yeah.
So,
which was something that I found as a huge flaw in the movie, because whenever we first start the movie and they first go in the shimmer, like, oh, it's been 6 days, we didn't know, and then the next scene they're going to sleep and all of a sudden they know everything that's been going on and everything from the day before and all this stuff, and it's like, oh.
But hold on, which time out of the many times they made camp are you talking about?
All of them but the first one.
So, yes. And they go into the forest, and it's very pretty. There's so much prettiness, that's about half of the movie.
yeah.
Looking at plants being pretty.
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Yeah, there was a lot of the walking around in the forest and everything was very emphasized on, you know, the genetic mutations that's happening in these plants and what they're looking like.
Yeah.
And you know, and also the skeletons of the guy that was in the pool and how crazy
That's part
and
number
how
2.
cool that looked too, you know, like there was a lot of very cool visual aspects that I took away liking out of it a lot. Like the visual
Yeah, I
was
think
probably
overall
my
the
favorite
movie's
thing
great.
within the movie. Yeah.
And at this time, they bring up the main problem in the movie. And the main problem is organisms in this environment, their DNA rapidly mutates, or in a certain way. Because it mutates for certain. But then later on, they also showed that one cell, there'll be like a dark cell and a light cell that mutates separately. So there's basic mutation, there's crocodiles with too many teeth and bears that can scream.
Yeah.
And then there's the body double mutations, where it's like the good antelope and the bad antelope.
Sure.
So the mutations seem to be kind of inconsistent, but that's the premise of the movie. Is it could have been just in Chernobyl, and 3/4 of the movie would have been the same, with just mutant boars running around.
Yeah.
And if you make them scream, you got the best movie right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very enjoyable. Having a mutated bear that's like half face is gone, being able to say help, like that was very creepy, and I enjoyed that a lot. I wish the alligator would have said something.
Did you catch their reasoning why she thinks the bear does that?
Yes, that was very
Yeah.
weird because it absorbed part of her in her last moments of death.
Yeah, so she's essentially trapped inside the bear.
Yeah, like, so basically the bear
in
ate
horror.
her soul in horror.
But the same thing
Right.
happened with
That suck.
the other
Right?
two too. I think.
That's worse than getting eaten by a bear. That's like, you are now stuck inside the bear, being attacked by a bear
Right.
forever.
It's like
Right.
it's like the sword of there can only be one Highlander. It's like the Highlander bear.
He absorbs him. But no, that
Yeah.
was the best part of the movie.
Yeah, that really was. Yeah, that bear, that initial attack with the bear, that was really, really cool. I liked that a lot. I thought the alligator was really cool in the beginning too. That was
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. All the mutations, as far as honestly, all the mutations were super cool within the movie. Whether they were
The
making
animal was
sense
super cool.
or whether they weren't really making too much sense, you know, that's up to the viewer to figure out. But I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, the way that everything was mutating around and how the DNA was being. What did the smart girl say that was happening?
It was like a
The
prism. Or
DNA
something
was
like
like reflecting itself on
Refracting?
Refracting
Yeah, the
itself.
DNA was
Yeah.
refracting onto everything else. So like bushes were growing in the shape of people, and like it was just interesting. I mean, it was
Yeah.
something that I've never visually seen before,
any mutation movie, really, though. Like,
Yeah.
like the virus and stuff like that,
It
where
was
the
like the
machines
Hunger
take shape
Games.
of people. Yes, yeah, that's right. Yep.
Those
yep.
birds that would record people and then like shout it back at people to think that their family members are there. It was just a really fucked up version of the Hunger Games, and that's it. We're done now.
alrighty, so
So going into Act 3,
yeah.
one of the characters, tied up everybody else. The other three characters was blaming him for stuff whenever she figured out that Natalie Portman's husband was previously inside the Shimmer. And so she started blaming her for Shepard's death and everything. As soon as she started doing that, all of a sudden here comes the cool-ass bear. and rips her throat out, and then starts attacking everybody else.
With her voice.
With her voice, that was
Yeah.
very
She
cool.
stole
No,
her
when he
voice.
bit her jaw off or whatever.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal too. When the
Yeah.
bear kills her, that I was like, oh my god, it ripped her throat out and took her lower jaw with it.
It was dope.
Like, wow, that was
So-
cool.
And so, for all of you who think that you're going to take your kid to this movie,
No.
there's like
Yeah.
4 sex scenes repeated, as well as
Can you imagine?
Yeah, not taking
She'd be
it.
crying.
Kids.
Back
Yeah.
sex scenes.
Yeah, not necessarily sex scenes. Just
No,
get to see her.
it's-
her
it's-
You're
back.
gonna see her
Watch.
back.
Yeah.
So Natalie Portman is cheating with her husband, and you find out that that's probably the reason the husband goes into the shimmer, because he found out she was cheating, and that's why he's down for a suicide mission.
Yeah, no,
And that he wouldn't kiss her at that right before he
Yeah.
left on the suicide mission.
exactly. Yeah, no, I agree. I
But that
think
ties into
that's
the
why he
self-destruction.
left. Yeah, I think that's why he left, and that was a good subplot to put in there that gives us an understanding on why he left.
Yeah.
But they never
Um,
confirmed it. So.
Because
No,
everyone
not
who
at
goes
all.
in has self-destructive tendencies.
and not only
She's
that,
cheating on her
whenever-
marriage. He wants to die. The smart girl
Cuts herself. The one lady's kid died of leukemia.
One person dying of cancer. They're all
Yeah.
self-destructing, and that's a huge key point in the movie.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Assisted
I think it
suicide.
makes sense, but it definitely doesn't seem that way in the movie.
And then the mimicking alien does what at the end?
Self-destructs.
Self-destructs.
Yep.
I don't know.
So.
I think the subplot was just some bullshit they wanted to
Yeah,
add
it
in.
was.
That was weird.
That's about it.
Yeah, I
because
could-
like whenever they were
They could have
explaining
made
it,
it short. They could have made it a little shorter. And no, I think it played out to it very well, because she even says, why did you come back when they're asking her the questions? She's like, well, maybe I was the only person that had a reason to come back. So as to why the alien form would go and bring and appear himself to her,
Yeah.
or transport himself to her, however the hell he got there, to pull her back, because they keep sending people in there that don't really want to leave. They're okay with dying.
Yeah, that was a strong theme.
And that was the theme of it, is these people
Yeah.
were all okay with dying, but she's not. She's going in there to save her husband.
yeah.
And so that would be why that alien would go, and she would get introduced to all the
we're
shimmer.
We're in the third act. So, the third act. What do you think about the third act?
I felt there was weaknesses and strengths in it, because it's hard not to have a movie that's like this with weaknesses, because it leaves, so much to debate, like we're having right now.
Yeah.
It purposely does that, and that's one of the reasons why I like the movie so much, is because it leaves it open, and there is inconsistencies, but it's hard to say. Like we were saying, the alien lights on fire, and we're led to believe that that's the alien, but maybe in the time that she was there in the shimmer, she realized, or after she saw that tape, she realized that that's not her husband. That's an alien. She saw her husband blow up, and now that's the alien, and I just want to be with something that looks like my husband.
Yeah.
And so she goes through the metamorphosis of becoming the form that she was fighting, just like the black girl became a metamorphosis of flowers and life and trees. And like the other girl became a metamorphosis of her internal struggle of not being able to trust people and having insecurities within herself.
And then one person turned into a bear's voice.
And and then that poor girl that gets murdered by the bear.
She had a super sad story too. Her kid died, and it's like, oh yeah, let's put that bitch in a bear. Who cares?
Yeah,
It sucks.
all these people had really bad, sad life stories
Poor
of why
thing.
they went into the shimmer.
So
Poor
I don't give the whole shimmering eyes thing any kind of concern, because I'm pretty sure that's the part that the producers changed.
No, I absolutely think so too.
So I-
Yep.
What do you guys think would be the alternate ending or the original ending? What do you guys think it was?
I think she dies. She holds the phosphorus, dies with the alien, and destroys it all. And that's it.
They would have done the ending just like in the videotape that she sees with her husband.
Maybe
And
it
they would
was,
just leave it just at that. And then her walking out of the shimmer. Credits roll.
maybe the power of the alien and her destroying themselves together would cause some huge mushroom cloud, just totally obliterate the shimmer,
it's hard to
the
tell.
area
I mean,
X,
And
and
just
that's it.
completely drop the whole
Yeah.
husband subplot.
It could be
kill
because she
him 'cause,
realizes
yeah,
that
that place.
I don't know, it's hard. I'm really hoping there's a director's cut to where we can see what the original
I'm
ending
sure there
was
is.
supposed to be, because you can tell this was a very dumb ending compared to a very smart movie all the way up until the very end.
Well, at a certain point where the girl liquefies and turns into mist,
That was crazy.
I was like,
cool.
hold on, we might be entering some Evangelion Neon Genesis ending where everyone turns into Tang.
Yeah, right?
Whereas everyone's like, oh shit, is everyone just gonna become dust? It was like,
That could happen.
maybe it was like some huge like
Yeah.
existential threat that was even bigger than just mutating over time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
That
That's a
was
wild
very,
theory.
very cool. Yeah, that whole last scene where they were down underneath in the basement that ended up looking like a spaceship for some weird reason. That was all. I liked all that a lot. Where her blood, went into it, and then that's when it like started becoming her. I was like, oh my god!
I was waiting for a
like,
blueprint.
yeah, like I thought that was super cool.
Yeah,
What about
I
you?
think-
What do you think the real ending might have been?
So I think this ending was basically, so the difference in it being the beginning of the movie, whenever her husband comes back, he gets sick from being outside of the place, so he's probably an alien adjusting to a different atmosphere. And whenever Natalie Portman comes out of it, she's just fine. So I think that's the difference, that it's an alien and Natalie Portman now. The original Natalie Portman, who is now a like crossbreed of human and alien.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
I think that's probably what the ending is right now. But I think the original was probably, I think they added a few things in, like showing the body double inside the video whenever he kills himself. I don't know that was a part of the original ending, and I think that, like, if they didn't show that, and then they had both dying at the end of the original, like Natalie Portman and husband dying, but all of a sudden they're still there.
See, I think
That would have been cool. Natalie
I
Portman,
think
her
the
dying,
body
and they come
double
back.
thing can't be an add-on because that's a theme that goes on throughout the whole
Yeah, I
movie
agree.
with like the cells.
No, I'm
the
saying
black and
just
the white
not
cell,
showing it
and the
within
bad
the
and
video.
bad deer.
Yeah, not showing her husband's body.
Not showing
Yeah,
her
okay,
husband's
okay.
body double inside the video whenever he kills himself.
No, I think that was for sure part of the original cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
do.
think just at the very least the fire where the guy's like, fuck it, let's burn everything. Like that's probably not the original ending where the guy. See, at the very first I thought he was trying to mimic the fire, but didn't understand the properties of the fire, so he accidentally burned down everything. And it spread because the essence of what he is mimicking. So everything's mimicking this thermite or whatever it is,
Yeah.
this phosphorus.
Yeah.
So that's why it all burns down, because they're all like, oh, what's this thing? And then they're all dead.
I like that too.
That makes sense.
See, I like that too. That's why I like movies like this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think of that. I would have never thought of that.
Yeah.
And you say, I'm like, well, damn, it's reflecting everything else. It's reflecting DNA. It's reflecting life forms.
Reflecting
Why
decisions.
wouldn't it? Yeah, it's reflecting decisions. Why wouldn't it reflect
It falls
one of the
apart.
most primordial elements, fire?
Yeah. I want it to be that, but then I was like, but the whole movie's based on like biology.
I know.
And like the
yeah,
fire is not really
I know.
biological, but
Yeah.
it makes me happier to think that it was mimicking.
Yeah,
and it
that
just
does-
didn't understand
I
because
like
it didn't
that too.
have. Because she says, I didn't know if it even knew I was there when it was mimicking her.
That's true.
So it doesn't understand the distinction between things or people or, what is what. So it might have just mimicked
Understands movement.
whatever the blueprint went into her.
Yeah.
That makes
It's
sense.
it's so strange.
So they go through the whole tussle. I think through this whole thing with the alien mimicking what she's doing, this alien is somehow picking up the emotion of everything. What I saw when they had the phosphorus grenade, the alien had their hand on it and so did she. It was almost like let's just quit this together. Let's just end this together. Let's end all of this. Natalie already an alien. One of the things, Jennifer Jason Leigh said is that they're just going to keep coming. They're going to reproduce and take everything over. They wanted to end it because now, no matter what, alien Natalie Portman is going to go shack up now with alien husband, have babies, the annihilation of the world.
So Warman, Blazzin, medium, or dud?
Medium.
Medium. How
Like,
come?
This is a Netflix if you got bored movie. I would not. Nah, there's better things out there. If you want genetic manipulation or alien stuff, The Thing is just a better movie.
The Thing
I
is
would watch
very
The
good.
Thing 4 more times before I watch this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Sarah?
I think it's medium, but I think it's definitely a go see in the theaters movie. It was really visually pretty, and I think the acting was good. It was a little bit slow, but other than that, I mean, do I necessarily want to buy it on DVD? No, I thought it was cool to see on a giant screen in a theater. I don't think it'll be that great when you buy it and watch it on tiny TV.
Sure.
Because I think the big basis of it was how it looked, not truly the story, since it was kind of jumped around so much and didn't make sense sometimes.
Yeah. I know for me, I give it a Blazzin. I want to pick this movie up when it comes out, but this is just the kind of movies that I really enjoy. A more slower paced thriller movie, or they're the kind of movies I really, really like. And these kind of thought-provoking movies that just make you want to talk about it and have different people have different ideas. Like Sarah said, the visuals on it were absolutely amazing. I think that was one of the best aspects of the entire movie, was the cinematography within the movie, the way the shots were taken and the angles of the shots and how they placed people in shots when they were having conversations to let you know that, oh, this person's on the side and it's off tilt because she's off center. This person's in the middle of the shot. Like, I saw many things throughout the movie that reflected things like that. And I'm just a stupid person with movies. I notice those kind of things a lot, and I appreciate the filming of it. And I liked a lot of it. Like, it's not a movie that didn't have its flaws, like you got from the other people that are reviewing it, you know. But for me, I like this movie a lot, and I definitely want to watch it a couple more times. But I would say that I would watch The Thing 3 times more than I would watch this. Yes.
And for me, I would also have to go medium. It's a one-time watch. I would pay $12, $15 to go watch it in the movie theater one time. I wouldn't buy it again. I just think that there's a lot of inconsistencies in the movie that just kind of like, it doesn't ruin the movie, but it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, cool. Like, I watched a movie that made me think once.
Yeah.
Just once.
And then punished you by not making
Just
any
one
sense.
time.
Yeah, so I it's one of those things, it's like, all right, you watched a cool movie, you thought about it all day, and that was the last time you watched it because it doesn't deserve another watch. But
So
that's just me.
I forgot to mention, there was a movie made in like the 90s called Evolution. It was a comedy with the guy that played Fox Mulder.
Yeah, that's...
Where like the aliens got a little bit more weird and like more evolved, and it ended with the giant blob, and that, I feel like that was like the comedy version.
Yeah,
of this
I know what movie you're talking about.
The scary version.
Yeah, that
of
makes sense.
Evolution with whoever Fox Mulder was.
Right.
And it starts with a meteor, and they don't know how to do it. Also,
Right.
There was a bit of a Gandalf situation. Why didn't they just, instead of taking a walk through hell, just drop down some folks right on the light tower?
I know, right? Well, all right, let's not ruin the movie. But they could have definitely just parachuted in where they wanted to. They didn't have
bring
to
Gandalf
front
with those
through the whole
eagles.
thing. Yeah, like, just drop down on a plane and fly in.
Yeah.
Prepare to get woke.
Fire in this lighthouse.
It's creating other deer. It's creating other bears.
Oh, there's Tin Natalie Portman.
There's 10
And
one.
then there's normal Natalie Portman. Normal Natalie Portman gives her grenade over.
That maybe grew to something else. No, I think it was a defense mechanism because they were both aliens at the end.
The tin one goes, oh, and then gets blown up. Like, I didn't see any kind of switch.
Yeah, you didn't see any kind
Okay,
of
do you
switch
want to
with
hear my
that?
theory?
I thought it
Because
was.
you guys,
Let's go.
I think you guys are thinking. I'm giving you my theory on this, the emotional theory on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're aliens at that point. And so the ending was basically a cover-up, is a defense mechanism from the natural habitat.
Almost like tricks the alien, like, oh, fuck you, I'm not doing it, and then runs out.
There was a switch within the position of the camera.
If that's the real ending, I really doubt the tube. Well, we keep saying alien. We don't know exactly what it is.
It's like, yeah, and then they hug and the shimmery eyes and stuff. They're going to make all these alien babies.
Yeah, and they just forget everything because of where they were.
Okay, let's make everyone think that nothing happened. But to finish this off, well, actually, I'll just cut this in somewhere else. So we have the Rotten Tomatoes score right now. This is opening weekend. The movie just got released yesterday, but as it stands, Rotten Tomatoes is at 87%. Roper and Ebert who are the two main guys that reviewed movies all the time? Roper and Ebert, I thought. Who knows? But whoever this is giving it a 3.5 out of 4, and Metacritic is holding it at an 80%. So right now, everyone seems to be giving it about a B score, a little higher, almost an A for Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think a lot of people went into this expecting like an action movie. I think a lot of people knew that this is a movie that's going to be very thought-provoking and very obscure.
Yeah.
So
it'll be good to support R-rated science fiction movies.
Yeah,
because
honestly.
they just started coming back with Arrival.
Yeah.
And I don't, PG-13 hell is a real thing of where everything spooky is PG-13.
Yeah, and exactly, and that's a really good point. I really want to end it with that. If you're a fan of R-rated sci-fi things, you need to go watch this movie because we do not get a lot of R-rated sci-fi movies anymore, and it's sad. But I liked it. It was definitely, I think all of us said, a theater watch besides you, a Netflix watch.
I'm not upset I saw it in theater, but if I didn't have $10 in my pocket, I wouldn't.
Rather get on Panda Express.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching Final Notice Media. We really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, and what else?
Hit that subscribe button.
And what else?
Share with your friends and leave comments.
And the bell! It always helps. What else should we talk about?
I think we're done.
Scream bore.
You're mean.
Has to eat the hottest pepper in the world?
No. Sarah will die.
I think right now we've probably talked about like literally everything we could.
Yeah.
Like,
I
Annihilation!
feel like to say things in unison so much.
I don't think so. I think what they did was like, hey, what's the plot line of Lost? Okay, let's do that except show the monsters.
Well, folks, that was a long one. If you stay with us to the end, we greatly appreciate it, and we hope you have a great day and a beautiful weekend. We love you and thank you for all the support that you give us.